Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of Geotechnical Engineering. Now this is the continuation of methods of soil exploration. We have already discussed the four methods of soil exploration. Now the fifth method is your core drilling. Okay, so this is the core drilling equipment. Okay, see this equipment. This is the core cutter is here, and this is the height adjustment assembly. This is the angle adjustment assembly for the core driller. So this is the simple core driller. There are many different types of core driller machines. So this is the small machine, and this is also one core driller machine. Okay, so this is the boom. Okay, and on that boom the core driller is adjusted and hydraulically it is operated. Okay, so we'll discuss the core drilling. This method is used for advancing hole and for obtaining rock cores. Okay, if there is a hard strata, then we'll go for a core drilling method, and this is the advanced method. And the hole is advanced by using the core drill. Okay, it consists of a core barrel fitted with a drilling bit. See here, this is the core barrel. This is the core barrel fitted with a core bitting or core bit, drilling bit to a hollow drilling rod. Okay, so this is the hollow drilling rod which is called as a core barrel, and for this core bit is fitted. Right, the bit is advances and cut an annular hole around an intact core. Okay, so it will do the annular or around an intact core. As the drilling bit is rotated, then the core is removed from its bottom and retained by a core lifter and brought to the ground surface. Okay, so see here, this is the ground. Okay, and the hole is advances by using core bit. It rotates here. Okay, and which do the core in soil and the core material. Okay, so this is your core which is cut from its bottom and collected on ground. Okay, by core lifter. Correct. So there is arrangement to collect this bit. See here, this is the rotary core barrel, right? See here, this is the core catcher. After cutting this ground, okay, the core which is obtained. See, this is the core size of 2.321 inches. Okay, that is approximately 6.20 centimeter in diameter. Okay, so this is the core that we have to lift on a ground, right? And this is the core catcher. Okay, and from the bottom we'll cut this core, and that will collect like this core that will collect in on a ground. Okay, to keep the drilling bit cool. Okay, so this drilling bit, by for keeping this cool, and to carry the disintegrated material to the ground surface, water is pumped continuously into the drilling rod. Okay, so from here we have to continuously pump the water so the bit get cool. Drilling may be done by diamond stud bit. Okay, so this is the diamond stud bit. These are the bits fitted with diamonds, or cutting edge having shield short. Okay, the diamond drilling is costlier but is superior to the other type of drillings. If double tube core barrel is used, it gives good quality of a rock sample. Okay, double tube core barrel is used, then it will give good quality of a soil sample. So this is the double tube core barrel, right? So this is about the core drilling equipment. See here, this is the core liner, right? Then this is the core, then this is the supporting bearing, right? Then quick release See here, there is arrangement of quick release, then check wall. The cutting material is pumped out through the water on the ground surface, okay, and the core is pulled out. This is the pulling neck, right, that will catch here and take on a ground surface. So this is about the core drilling. Now there are some another methods of soil exploration, that is open excavation methods, okay. Now in open excavation methods there are two types. First one is your pit and then trenches, and second one is your drift and shafts. Now we'll see one by one pit and trenches. Now open excavation method for soil exploration. Open excavation is made to inspect the substrata, okay, and that substrata is inspected by using these two methods. Means first one is your pit and trenches, second one is your drift and shafts. Now first pit. Now what is meant by pit? Pit is nothing but vertical dig in a earth. Okay, we'll do the vertical excavation in earth, that is called as a pit. Pit and trenches are excavated at the site to inspect the strata. The size of pit should be sufficient to provide necessary working space. Okay, so the how much is the size of pit? That size of pit is sufficient so any worker can go inside and do the sufficient work there. So size of chute should be sufficient to provide necessary working space, and according to IS 4453 1967 recommends clear working space for a pit is 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter. Okay, so the size should be 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter. So this is the clear working space, so the one man can go is inside the pit and do work properly. Okay, so the 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter is the space at the bottom of pit. Okay, the depth of the pit depends upon the requirement of investigation, right. So see here, this is the depth of pit. Now the depth of pit is totally depends on the which type of investigation you have to do, what type of project is there, and how much depth you have to go. Okay, depending on that the depth of pit is will decide. Okay, and the bottom of pit is minimum 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter. Okay, so the top may be more than 1.2 meter by 1.2 meter. Shallow pit up to the 3 meter depth can be made without providing any lateral support. Okay. So if you are going for a shallow pit, then depth is less, right? And the shallow pit with 3 meter depth, you should not require any lateral support for that pit. Okay. If you are going below that 3 meter depth, or especially below the groundwater table, lateral supports in the form of sitting and bracing system is required. Okay, so see here, if you are going more than 3 meter depth, or there is a groundwater table in between you in your pit, okay, and you have to go below that groundwater table, then there is a chances of sliding the material inside your pit. Okay, and to avoid that you have to provide the lateral supports to the pit, so in the form of studs and sheets. Okay, so this is the section AA. See here, the horizontal portions are your studs. Okay, these are stud frames. See here, these are stud frames on the periphery of your pit. Okay, and that stud frames are fitted with the vertical sheets of 50 mm thick. So these are the vertical sheets. Okay, so the vertical sheets are from all sides. Okay, and from all sides you have to provide a lateral support, that is stud frame. Okay, so that the material outside the sheet cannot be caving in your pit. So that is necessary. As the depth of pit increases, its cost increases rapidly. Okay, for depth greater than 6 meter, boreholes are more economical than the open pit. Okay, if you will go for a depth more than 6 meter, then you will straight away prefer borehole. instead of a open excavation, that is pit. Okay, now deep pits should be properly ventilated to prevent accumulation of a dead air. If water encountered in a pit, it should be suitably dewatered or removed. Right? So this is about the pit, and trenches are long shallow pits. Trenches are nothing but long shallow pits. These are the only pits, but if the length of pit is more, then that we will call as a trenches. Okay, this here, trenches are long shallow pits continued over a length. A trench is continuous over a considerable length and it is provided exposure along a line. The trenches are more suitable than pits for excavation on a slopy ground. Okay, if you are going for a slope ground, then trenches are more suitable than pits. Test pits and trenches can be excavated manually or mechanically, and adequate precautions should be taken against the accident due to the caving of ground inside your pit or trenches. Okay, so for that you have to take additional or adequate precautions. So this is about the pit and trenches. Next one is drift and shaft. Now drift, these are the horizontal tunnels made in the hill to determine the nature and structure of a soil. Okay, drifts are horizontal tunnels made in a hillside to determine the nature and structure of a soil. According to IS 4453 1980 recommends minimum clear dimensions of 1.5 meter width and 2 meter height in a hard rock, and in soft rock arch roof is more advantage than a flat roof. Okay, while doing the drifts, what should be the clear and minimum dimension is 1.5 meter width by 2 meter height for a tunnel purpose, right? And for loosened soil we'll go for a arch like a structure. So the arch action will provide you support, and it helps to fall caving in. So the in soft rocks, arch roofs are more advantageous than flat roofs. If the ground is unable to stand its own, then supports have to be provided to carry the load of the roof and sides of the draft. Okay, so you have to provide supports for a roof if the soil is not withstanding itself. Means soil is loosened, then soil always get collapsed, and to avoid that you have to give the supports to the roofs. And next one is your shafts. These are the large vertical holes made in a geological formation. These may be rectangular or circular. Okay, so these are the vertical holes in your soil, and drifts are your horizontal holes like a tunnel like a structure. Now, the minimum width of a rectangular shaft is 2.4 meter, and for a circular is 2.4 meter in diameter. Okay, shafts have some minimum dimensions, means you have to go for minimum 2.4 meter by 2.4 meter square type of shaft, or 2.4 meter is minimum one width of your shaft. Okay, and if you are going for a circular type of shaft, then it is required 2.4 meter minimum diameter of your circular shaft. Okay, in weak ground the sides of shaft should be properly supported. Okay, deep shaft should be properly ventilated. Okay, many times in tunnels, while you are traveling from train, you will go from tunnel, then you will see some vertical shafts in that tunnel, and that shafts are used for ventilating that tunnel. Means you have to remove that polluted air from that your tunnel by use of shafts. Okay, so we'll fix some exhaust fan in shafts, and this is also one purpose of shaft. And by using shaft we can also test the soil samples. Okay. Now we'll see some limitations of soil engineering. Now, soil engineering is not an exact science because of the nature and variability of soil. Okay, so there are some assumptions made. Soil obtained is most of the cases are for a idealized or hypothetical, that is assumed type of soil material which may be truly represent the actual soil, which may not be truly represent the actual soil. Okay, so this is the hypothetically assumptions for a soil. So we cannot say it is exact science. There are many assumptions. So there are some limitations of soil engineering. Now, what are these limitations? We will see. Now, first one is your soil does not possess linear stress-strain relationship. Okay, soil does not possess linear stress-strain or unique stress-strain relationship. The soil of the theory of elasticity cannot be directly applied. Okay, now stress-strain relationship is directly proportional. Okay, you apply the stress, then strain get increases. The same properties of other material will not be applied in the soil, so there is not a linear stress strain relationship, so you cannot define it. Then behavior of a soil or behavior and strength of soil depends upon many factors. Okay, now which are the different factors? Pressure, then drainage, then environment, okay, and many other factors. These changes must be considered when dealing with the soil. You have to see all these factors while dealing with the soil. So this is also your one limitation. The next one is your soil is different at every location. Okay, so soil is different at every location, so you will not get same soil at a different location. You will get different soil at a different location, so you cannot say the soil is unique, right? Now, the results and experience from the project of others should be transferred carefully. Means, suppose you are doing one project, okay, similar type of project you have to do on a some another land, okay. So the you cannot transfer the reports of this project to the that project because the soil condition is totally different location to location. Okay, so you cannot apply the same project reports or project principles at that, so at that project or at that location. Okay, then second one is your soil is sensitive and disturbance. Okay, since the soils are sensitive to disturbance, the results and tests conducted on a soil sample should be interpreted carefully. So this is your also one limitation. Then next one is your most of the soil is underground and cannot be inspected. Okay, adequate soil exploration should be done to determine the profile of soil strata. Right? For any structure, the soil is hidden underground. Okay, so the hidden soil has different properties or different structural properties. So every soil should be examined before applying any methods or any principles on that soil. Okay. Next one is your method of construction may have to be modified as per work progress and the properties of soil begins unfold. So you have to modify the methods of construction according to your soil. So this is also your one limitation. Then occasional observations have to be made during and even after the completion of work to check the whether assumptions made are correct or not. So occasional observations also you have to made. This is also your limitation. Then behavior of soil changes as the particle gets shifted. Okay, soil is made up of different particles. If the particles get shifted, then soil behavior of soil is also changes. So this is also your one limitation. Then behavior depends upon three phases. Okay, that is solid, then water and air. Soil is always in three-phase system or two-phase system. Okay. So what are the phases of soil? First one is your soil in air, then soil in water, okay, and solids present in the soil. So on that the behavior soil is depends on that three phases. Then next one is your it may not be of much use to apply highly mathematical rigorous solution to a material like soil whose properties cannot be determined to the same accuracy. So we cannot apply the mathematical or rigorous solution on a soil. So with this, I will stop here. Thank you.